Had that point in the wrong direction. Let's wait. See who's going to show up. Are you leaving?
Soon.
I'm doing Facebook Live, so chop chop. I'm just waiting for people to come on, so. My son getting his protein drink ready. He slams the door. I'm going to start off like I usually do. I've got a lot of things to get to. The first thing I want to talk about is that back in the background. You see all the boxes. We are moving out of this house. We've been in this house for about 6 years now. We're downsizing. My youngest son's going to college now. And he's probably going to get a place. They were talking about that today at the dorm here in San Antonio, UTSA, out of San Antonio, and we're going to downsize. My mother lives with us. She has for probably the last 11, 12 years, and she's 80, just turned 85, and is in great health. I wouldn't say great, but she's in good health for an 85-year-old, and that has smoked since she was 14 years old. And she's got her own little room up front, goes in and out every once in a while, goes outside to smoke. But she'll be with us till we get moved all out. She goes and visits my sister in New Mexico every year, and I think she's gonna go see them for a while. Let me talk about something, and I always bring this up because I do not want this to die, is shaving senior softball bats. I know they do it in kids ball, and I'm going to call it kids ball because it's, lower than 40s. And if you're doing it when you're in kids ball, you're going to bring it to seniors. You're not going to stop doing it. So what happens is these new generations come up. Didn't see it much whenever I started in 2009 in senior ball. Then it gets bigger and bigger because the next generation has been doing it. And doing it a lot more are bringing it up, and they are doing it, and they think it's no big deal because everybody does it. And I've heard this numerous times. If they're going to do it, I'm going to do it, because we're not going to be lacking behind. And a lot of you guys are out there saying, well, why would you shave a senior softball bat? Well, because they've done it before in the past, and they don't want to, because a shaved bat is better than a senior softball bat. I'm just here to tell you it is. It is a lot better than a senior softball bat. So if they cheated in the past, they're going to bring it the next level, and they'll keep doing it. I never do think it's that guy that does steroids, and all of a sudden he looks good and he's going to stop doing it. No, because he probably has muscle morphia, and he thinks he's got to be big all the time. Well, it's that addiction. I actually think it is an addiction, because they don't want to go backwards. They don't want to not succeed. So that is what's pushing it. Same thing as getting addicted to steroids. Steroids is not addicting like you have a draw to it, like you want it all the time. What's the addicting is the attention you get from it, right? So you have a little guy that has always been little. Let's say a guy that hasn't hit home runs, then all of a sudden he gets a shave bat and he starts hitting home runs, right? So it's the addiction from getting noticed. That's how you get addicted to steroids. It's walking in the gym, and I've seen it. I have personally seen it happen to friends of mine, where they all of a sudden, wow, girls are looking at them in the gym. They get huge, huge. And I think it's the same thing with shaving. I think these guys that were not that big or nobody said didn't want to put in the work, you know, didn't want to get out there and hit off a tee, didn't want to take a lot of BP in 105-degree weather, you know, 85, 90-degree weather, you know, what we do in the mornings. Didn't want to put in the work. So what do? They go get a shave bat, you know. You got to be in the gym for a long time to put on muscle mass, so steroids actually get you there. It works. Steroids work. Don't let anybody tell you that steroids don't work, you know. I've had the argument about Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds was a very good player. He would have been in the Hall of Fame. But what steroids did to him is take him to that legend level. Barry Bonds was never a legend. Steroids took him to that legend level. I know Leroy will argue with me about that because he's a big, and I don't care. I think he should be in the Hall of Fame. I'm not saying nothing, but for you to debate me about didn't do anything to him, and I've had this debate before, it doesn't do anything to him. The hell it doesn't. It increases your confidence tenfold. Hand-eye coordination, no, but your fast twitching muscle fibers, wow, it's just like they can hit anything. All they got to do is see it, and he already had that. So anyway, I'll get off that. I'll get on to something else. But shaving a bat, basically, they don't want to go backwards. They have that morphia about shaving bats. So they're taking it to the next level. What we're seeing now is, I seen Matt McGee talking, a director up north in Texas was talking about what they're going to start doing is checking bats. You know, if you have an end cap fly out, which I think everybody should do this, is have an end cap fly out, you go over there and grab the end cap and you take the bat and you put it and you have it inspected, right? Because it's very easy to find out if you've been shaving. You know, now a cracked bat is different. If you have a cracked bat or if somebody grabs it and rubs their hand on it, but these people need to be educated on what is a cracked bat and what is a seam. That's another thing too, because I've had this, talked about this in a video. We were playing in Dalton, Georgia years ago, and the Adidas bat would have a long seam in it. The longer the seam, the hotter it got. That barrel got really soft. Well, they had this kid there, and he was the director's grandson or something, and I was behind, and I was waiting to see my bats, and these Adidas were being put up there, and he would grab them, and no, that's gone. No, it's a seam. It's actually not, it's not cracked. No, any kind of little, no, and I'm trying to explain to this kid, he's probably 17, 18 years old, about, it's just a seam, it's not a crack. So, you know, a lot of bats out there get these seams. To this day, they get these seams. Mikan last year, not this year. I have not seen a Mikan this year get a seam, but last year, if you remember, Mikan would have those seams that would go spiral down the barrel, right? And once it got that seam, it started to get hot. The bigger the seam, the hotter it got, right? And then it would just stop. It would not crack on a seam. I don't think we cracked a lot of Mikans last year, but a little harder barrel though too. And if it did get a crack, it would crack off the seam. Like it would just like a little shark tooth off the seam. And by that time we knew that, you know, we had to get rid of it or give it to somebody for them to hit it. But they need, you know, I'd like to have a one-on-one with Matt one day and talk to him while I'm up in Dallas and I talk to him about the seams that you get in these bats. And it doesn't mean anything. It just, you know, it just means that the bat is hot and it's ready to go. There's a few other bat companies. I haven't had a Mikan. I've got 3 of them right here in front of me. I'm going to talk to you guys about, but I haven't had a Mikan actually create a seam. I actually thought, you know, that Dudley had a seam starting a little bit, but I can't, you know, because it's right before they cracked. And guys, the reason I talked about this in the last video is, and the reason I went up and weighed in Dudley was because we cracked both of the ones that we had, but I think it was our error. Like today, I'm downloading, and this is how I found out, like I'm downloading videos for the weekend. I'm finishing up on 2 reviews. They're going to be out on Monday and Tuesday. And a couple of my guys, again, are taking these bats and they are just wearing them out. You know, 22 swings, sets it on the ground. Then one of my other guys comes in. I'm not going to call you guys out because I know I tagged you, but one of my other guys comes in and he doesn't realize that he cannot pick that same bat up after, One of the guys was swinging it for 22 swings. So he goes and grabs it off the ground. It probably sat there for less than a minute, picked it up and started swinging it 10 times. So you got 32 swings on that bat within, 4 minutes, which, guys, damages the bat. You don't need to be out there swinging your bat for no 30 swings, 20 swings. I think we counted them, Clem. You can actually hear Clem in some of the videos counting, putting 10 swings on a bat or 15 swings on a bat. We don't go no more than 15. Guys, you don't understand the damage you're doing to your bats whenever you're putting on 20, 30 swings, in one round. A lot of you guys take BP when you're going out of town, and I'm kind of going off different kind of shit, and I always do this. But a lot of you guys take BP when you're out of town, and I've seen this. Me and Mike Garibay were probably the best at doing this on that Crush team, which is, I'm wearing this because this was probably one of the best teams I've ever played on, Crush 55. But me and Mike would take 10 swings, and he would be out of there. I would take 10 swings and be out of it. But if you guys are taking batting practice in a game before a tournament, I'm talking about before a tournament, if you guys are taking batting practice and you're hitting 30 balls before a tournament, there's something wrong. You're not prepared. So all your preparation for this tournament should have been 2 weeks before, because we prepare for a tournament 2 weeks before when we're going to hit in this tournament. And all my guys know this, right? We are hit our own bats 2 weeks before a tournament, and we go up the day before. We'll actually go, and who's talking to me about this? Whenever he said, it might have been Trey, I was trying to get Trey to take off days before he would go to a tournament. So he would take BP with us. Like, he'd do one of our reviews on a Thursday and play on a Friday or Saturday. Found out that Saturday he was just spent. He was, wasn't as hydrated enough. But what I tried getting these guys to do is do it on Tuesday. So take Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and you do it on Tuesday. You take Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and don't do anything. And you guys play pool games in the morning. I would sometimes even skip pool games so I can play in a tournament on Saturday and Sunday. I would be at my strongest, right? But if your body's trying to recoup on those days, guys, you're not going to be at your 100% on the ball, on the game whenever you're trying to, at our age. I'm talking about at our age. You gotta wait. What's up, Clem? You gotta wait. Let your body recoup, because the movement that you're doing when let's say I'm taking 20 to 25 swings every time I take a round. We take 4 rounds. So that's roughly about 100 balls. It takes 4 days for my body to recoup from that. I already know how many days, right? So I'm not sore. And I found out through the past that I'm at my strongest at the plate when my body has 4 days of rest. Now, I'm not talking about, and I'm going everywhere now, I'm not talking about mowing your grass, cutting your trees down, because guys, you can schedule this, right? You can mow your grass the week before, all that strenuous work. Don't do that before a tournament. You'll find out in the long run that you're stronger during the tournament. And these guys, and they don't even know, these guys come up and tell me, and I actually, okay, what do you do? This one guy come up and say, okay, I am just exhausted on Sundays. Well, what do you do? Well, I'm doing this during the week, and preparing your food too. That's another thing. Being hydrated before you go. That's another thing too. 2 days out, start hydrating. Only consume, Pedialyte. A lot of you guys are that's not good if you're shoving Pedialyte down. You got to do that the day before, and you only got to do one Pedialyte the day before a tournament. That's it. Maybe one in the morning, half sip on one, and then one the next day, and the next day of that one. Don't suck on Pedialyte all day long. It's not good for you guys. The sodium you're just gonna blow up. That's I have found out in the past too. And a couple of buddies of mine, they actually talked to me about that. Who was Bobby Gilbert and Charlie Mueller talked to me about that years ago about the Pedialyte. No, we only take one at night. That's it. So preparing for the tournament, and then the same guy that was talking to me about him being exhausted, come to find out he ran for everybody. If you want an 800 batting average, you can't be that guy, that outfielder that runs for everybody. And I know the coaches don't like hearing that because, they want to win. But there was a guy that played for this team for us, and he would run all the time. And you can actually look at his batting average, but day by day, and you notice that he was dropping off on Sundays when it came championship day, and always dropped off. So I kind of pulled him aside and I was talking to him about, man, I know this is not good, but because he was one of the fastest guys on the team, and he ran around the outfield, had a high batting average, but he would just run for everybody. And I told him, you got to stop doing that. And I even told our coach, John at the time, no, he would try to put these guys that were playing the outfield to run bases. You can't do that, man. You can't do that. And I know it's so hard, and I run for myself, especially on what I try not to do because of my back is I try not to run in pool games, but after pool games, I run for myself, and I'm 63. But then again, I work for that. I don't want anybody running for me because I don't want them to suck. I need them for Sunday. You know what I mean? I don't want this guy that played the outfield that was faster than me running for me. Because I need him. If we're going to win this tournament, I need him to be there on Sunday, hitting 1,000 on that day, Sunday. So I would say, no, I'm fine. I could get to the next base, or if I'd be hobbling or something. I know that, usually I can go one base at a time. So that's another thing too. I kind of went off subject there. Talking about all of that is preparing yourself for the game. And I've done videos on this, and I'm going to do videos on this on my membership channel and kind of talk about that. But the seam on these bats, Matt McGee, if you're going to watch this later on, because I do have you on Facebook, I would recommend that you know the difference on any bat. DeMarini has the one that goes sideways, on these bats. On the DeMarinis kind of go this way. I know that last year's DeMarini did, and that bat would be hot whenever it got that seam in it. The Micans, like I said, not this year's Micans, but the last year's Mican would have that spiral that went around it. A couple other seams, and I do remember the Reebok has that. So if you have an old Reebok, and all these kids. Did I invite you?
Yeah, you invited me.
No, I don't think I did. What do you do? Do I have to accept you? No, time out. Do I have to accept you? I gotta hang on. I gotta mark. Hang on. Stop. I gotta mark where I stopped at. I am old. Chino, I'm old. I gotta mark down where I stopped at because I will forget. I will forget.
Yeah, man.
I forget, man.
I got my.
Okay. Hang on. Okay, I got it. What are you doing, brother?
Oh man, I'm over here on Rances Pass, man.
Oh, you're down. You're fishing?
Yeah, we're out here fishing. We're got a friend of mine got a house out here in the Rances Pass.
Sweet.
Doing some fishing and with a family.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Why didn't you show up yesterday to hit BP, to hit ball?
Because I took off, man.
No. I hit with 3 guys, man. 3 guys.
I saw that. I was gonna go, but then the wife says like, "Hey, we're gonna take off early to Rances Pass to the coast." I said, "All right, I guess I'm not gonna go ahead." It's either Dave or the wife.
Well, family is more important, and I know your wife, so I do not want to get in trouble with her. I do not want to get in trouble with her. She always takes. This is the deal I love about your wife. She always takes care of you first. But when we're at tournaments, right, and we're playing on the other field, and she's constantly taking care of everybody, bringing them water. I remember when she's running around bringing me water and stuff. I'm like, wow,
that's what she does.
That's pretty good. But yeah, family, especially this time of year during the summertime, family's always first. So you hear about
we finally got to get all the kids together. We finally got to get all the kids together and the grandbaby. So I said, let's go to the coast. So we're out here.
And you've been replying all day to the group texts?
Yes, I have. I've been laughing.
Guys, we sent out group texts to everybody. And like I said, I was downloading, I was cutting a video today, and Chino's not the culprit. Chino, it doesn't happen with Chino because he doesn't take 30 seconds. It was all good, Grace. It was all good. I didn't say anything bad. Everything was good.
I know.
I don't want to get on your bad side.
Somebody said somebody was talking about me. I was like, who's talking bad about me?
It wasn't bad.
It was never bad.
He said, I know Grace.
Oh, now Clem wants to join the video.
That's me.
Yeah.
You should take like 30-minute breaks whenever you're out there in the morning just to make sure y'all get water.
Yes, definitely, because yesterday was brutal. And we got started at 7. And then we kept going. And by the time we were done, it was 10 o'clock, Chino. I bet it was 100 degrees at 10 o'clock.
Yeah,
and
it was hot. It was hot.
And
All right, goodbye, Grace.
Bye.
back to the kitchen.
A girl can cook too, Casey.
It's not that funny.
No, I was laughing because you can cook.
Uh,
I've seen some of that food on your channel.
yeah, we got this event coming up, man, on August the 9th. Actually, they're raising money. They're raising money for school supplies.
On a federal
We're a better talk show. Yeah, we had this guy.
talk show, right?
Yeah, we had some guys come in on Wednesday. These are a bunch of DJs, weekend warriors, and they're raising money to school supplies for the kids when they go back to school. So they invited us to play in a volleyball tournament on August the 9th. So we got in, man. That's what we're going to be August 9th. Sideliners.
August 9th.
Yes.
Let me ask you this: are you surprised on how big y'all gotten?
What's that? Oh man!
Surprised on how big?
Actually, I am really surprised, man, because we started doing that just to have fun, because me and my cousin, we just talk a lot of smack, man. We're just messing around. So hey, let's do this. I'm really surprised how it is, man. It's
I watched some of your show. Was it last? No, it was Wednesday night, right?
Yes, Wednesday.
Yeah, it was Wednesday night, and I watched it. Man, it's good. It's good. Y'all have a lot of people following you too.
Yes, we got a whole bunch of people following us, man. We got a lot of people calling us to go do events. So we're getting ready to do some events. And August 9th, we're gonna do an event, and in September 23rd, we got 2 events that same day, man. That we got to go live there and interview people.
What? Give me some dates, Chino.
August 9th, we got the event, back to school supply for kids. August 9th, and then September 23rd, we got 2 other events. It's a movie premiere. Actually, it's a movie premiere. We've had some of these movie stars. They come to our show, so they got a movie premiere that they want us to go live on their movie premiere.
Yes, I saw that too on your show.
They want us there, September 23rd, and then we also got a couple of weeks ago we had Women Unlimited, all women business. They were in our show, and they want us to do an event with them on the 23rd also. So half and half, we're going to be doing back and forth, man. So it's been.
What I like what you're doing, Chino, with that is the community. And
Yes.
You guys talked a little bit about this the other day on your show, is about Tejano music has not, it did not fall off, but it actually was put on the back burner. And what you guys are doing is bringing it back.
Yes.
You know what I
Yes.
mean? But the one thing I like about all of you guys that are on that show the other night was the charisma with all of y'all. There was nonstop talking and talking about good topics. Because everybody has that. There was no, it actually was very well done. And it kept me entertained all the way to the end. But what I like about what you're doing, because we are in San Antonio and in Texas and in South Texas, is the community that you're actually going after. Because I'm a lot of people don't know this, and I think Chino might know a little bit, but my heritage is Tejano, with Tejano, and I'm really big into that. And we talked about this the other day too. Nobody knows what we do, right? With donating bats and donating balls and donating gloves. I don't talk about that, and we do donate stuff, but I don't brag about it. We don't sit out here and talk about it. And when I told you what I do, to people in Mexico, and you're like, you're kidding me. I said, no, but I don't want to talk about that. Is when we have stuff left over, it goes down south. You know what I mean? And I even told them down there that I'm talking to, I said, I don't want you to say who did it,
Yeah.
And they actually raffle off the stuff for the kids down in Mexico.
Yeah, when you told me about that, I mean, I knew you did a lot of stuff, but I didn't know you were actually doing that, sending stuff out there to Mexico and stuff like that. I was really surprised, and man, I'm glad that I have, that we've came across, and we've known each other forever, man. But now a little bit closer now.
But you guys don't know this. Me and Chino played against each other. We actually played together on a couple of teams. Was it Eagle Autoglass?
Eagle Autoglass.
We played together on that team, and we played against each other for a long time in San Antonio. And I pitched. So Chino was one of those guys where I did not want to face him. He was one of those guys where he was very good. With the aluminum bat days, not the guys that
aluminum bats.
The aluminum bat days.
Man, now we're showing our age.
I know that. When I show bats on YouTube or show bats on Facebook, actually showing our age. But the one thing, get back to what you're doing, I like what you're doing for the community. And I think we need somebody out there like your show to actually do that, to bring all of that back. Because I was the guy, a lot of guys don't know this, I grew up on the South Side. my grandmother who raised me was Hispanic. Well, I would go with her to these little Tejano places, and I would sit in the bar and listen to Tejano music, all night long. But yeah, I love that. I love what you're doing about bringing it back, and you got bringing awareness to it.
Yes.
And then what you're doing for the kids and the underprivileged people. Whenever I watch your talk show on Wednesday night, I was like, damn, so we do need to get that out there. If you guys on my Facebook, here's the deal. He's probably going to put up a flyer, and then the Puro Pero talk show too, get in tune with that. But I would share that on my Facebook page, because let's help out the kids. And anything else we can do for everybody, right?
Oh yeah.
And then he's going to put it out, and I'll put it on my Facebook page, and you guys can get it from there. So yeah, so enjoy yourself, brother.
Thanks, brother. Thanks for calling me up, man, to come into this live feed.
I think you jumped on, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I had an invite. Actually, I had an invite, and I'm like, man, what? So I hit it, and I'm like, hey, there I am. You invited. You didn't even know you invited me.
I don't know if I invited you or not, dude. I'm 63. There's a bunch of buttons down here. So I stopped you and had a mark right on my page.
Yeah. All right, brother. It's good seeing you, man. I guess we'll see you on Tuesday. We're hitting on Tuesday.
Tuesday morning, 7 o'clock.
I'll be there, man.
See you, brother.
Take care, brother.
You got to turn that off. I don't think I can get. There you go. All right, guys. Chino, I love what Chino's doing. Chino, you've seen him hit with us, and I've been around Chino for years, 40 years, 35 years, I think, in San Antonio. Never really got together the way we have gotten together in the last few years when he joined us on hitting, and he does know about senior softball bats. So, yes, Chino's a good guy. He is a good guy, and I like, when you have something like what we have, you have to have that charisma, with all of us, and that's why the Puro Pero show, whenever I watch it, you can tell that they have all that charisma, and you kind of see it in our guys too, where we can bullshit back and forth with each other. Let me get to what I was talking about, because I don't want to run behind here, and I don't even know if I want to bring this up now. Let me talk about the size of the fields, and I don't think you guys realize this. The size of the fields that we hit on. We always hit on baseball fields, and let me explain to you why we hit on baseball fields and not regulation softball fields. One of them is because it's hard to judge how far you hit a ball on a regular softball field. Baseball field's a little better, especially with the trees that we have around ours. Our dimensions, from behind home plate, because where we hit at behind home plate is 320 foot to the left, to the bottom of the fence. I had this argument a few years ago with somebody because I had put a little bit more, like 320, I would put 330 to hit it over. Well, he was saying, no, that fence is 320. And I'm like, okay, dude, from the bottom of the fence. But to hit it out, it's 330 or even more, 335, 340. Big of the trees you got in left field. So I had that argument. So what I want to do is just go bottom of the fence, 320 foot to hit to the bottom of the fence. In the power alleys where you guys see those soccer goals, which will be removed within the next couple of weeks out of there, that's 340. In between center field and that 340 where the soccer goals are at is 360, and then 380 to the bottom of the fence. So when you hear the trees hit, and you can hear those trees hit in the center field, that's over a 400-foot shot. And that's what I like about what we're doing, is you can actually hear the trees being hit by the ball. That's not, like somebody had said, video don't lie. And you can see the balls that we're hitting, and you can see how far they go. So yes, those are the dimensions. And the reason I love hitting out here is because when I started doing reviews, I did a lot of them here. So I can tell you the distance I was getting on a Dudley OG, because that's where we did the review at. So we hit those Dudley OGs on this same field. So and we're consistent with hitting at this field. So I remember back then what bat I hit and how far I hit it. So when I'm out here, even though my age, and I don't hit like I did when I was 49, 50, because my power has went down, I can still judge it with a lot of the guys that are hitting with us on how far they hit. So yeah, that's the reason we like hitting on baseball fields, and I think it actually helps with you guys whenever you're on a big TV and you can actually, if you're doing, you know, YouTube live or something on YouTube TV, you can actually see where those balls are actually landing. Let me talk to you guys, and I had this the other day, and I want to talk about it right now. Somebody had texted me about a bat that they thought was a blim, and I said, well, and I actually had a wig popper, and this was actually a really good bat, and I said, can you send it to me, and I'll have my guys hit it, and we'll see if it's a blim, and it was a good bat. And he sent it to me, and I sent him a wig popper, and I usually don't do this, guys, so I don't want to, you know, I don't want you guys flooding my page with trading out bats, but I usually don't do this. So when he sent it to me, this is a brand new wig popper. And actually, this is going to be raffled off on my membership page. You know, for you guys know that or not. I'm going to raffle off about a month on my, not raffle off. I'm just going to give it away to my membership guys. One of my membership guys. This is the bat that's going to go. It's going to be a wig popper to them that join that page. Well, he had it wrapped for lizard skin all the way up to here. So we started hitting it, and the video is going to be out next week on this. As he started hitting it, and the lizard skin was wrapped up to here, and you can see us take it off. His first few swings, he kind of like, I don't like it. It's not doing something. He actually thought the hands were too heavy. You know, it was John, and he actually, what I think, this is just my opinion, you know, it hasn't been proven because there's no way you can prove it. I think the higher you go with the wrap actually restricts the flex in the handle. That's just me. So what we did was, it had it all the way up to here. So what we did was we took it all the way off, and we put that one wrap of tape about that much, right? And you can see in the video, it was like night and day, guys. It made that sound, that big crack sound. And that was in the player model, on that short porch player model. And it just opened up within like 30 swings. You can see, and we did it one day. You know, I think we did it in 40 swings, and it was not the same bat. The bat is hot. Now, how many times, this is just me talking to you guys, how many times did you guys get on there and say this bat's a piece of crap or this bat's a dud, that this has happened to you? And I'm not saying it happens to all of you guys, because there is such thing as blims. I think 10% of every bat out there that is manufactured is a blim. 10%. That's the number I came up with doing this for 14 years, 10%, right? But how many of these bats are just wrapped to the gills, keeping it from actually getting a little bit of vibration in it or absorbing any kind of sound or anything like that, which I think that's what happened to the lizard skin. You could see me in the video talking about it, because it was noticeable whenever we took the lizard skin off of it, a little bit in performance, but the sound was totally different. So did he just not like the sound that it was making, and it wasn't changing for him? So he just gave up on the bat. But anyway, there's no way I can go into that. It's just something I'm throwing out there for you guys, maybe, you know, and I know a lot of you guys, man, you like that hand weight, especially you put that knob on. Just going to tell you right here, numbers, right? This right here, if you take this off, this takes a little less. It's 9/10 of an ounce, right? Depending on who it comes from, because they all weigh a little bit different. It's a gram here, a gram there. But if you take this off this bat, that's 9/10 of an ounce. So you're actually taking that weight out of the handle, which makes the bat perform for you a little bit better if you just put one wrap on it. So you're gonna get more of a sledge effect. You guys are not buying, if you guys want an end-loaded bat, you're not buying a balance. So when you have this on there, it's actually turning your bat into a little bit of a balanced bat. You take this off, more of a sledge effect. You can still handle that weight, right? If it's your, like this is a 26, if it's your ounce. The knob cuff too, man. I have tested this, and my guys have tested this. Billy loves swinging with a knob cuff, right? We swung bats, and they're just different when we would swing Billy's bat, because we would actually have to shove that knob cuff up so it didn't have that leverage down here. Knob cuff is, I think, is over an ounce in weight. So you're adding with this, and the knob cuff is almost 2 ounces. So you're turning your bat into a balanced bat when you do that. And I'm all about, you know, weight distribution, guys. I catch hell on weight distribution on bats. I have, and I really don't want to bring this up, but I will bring it up. And I did a review on a bat, and let me tell you, like, this is just our opinion. I'm not here to convince you. And I keep telling people, I got this written down somewhere, or nor do I care if you're convinced. Like, I don't want to debate you. I really don't. I have this theory. I have this formula in my head. I had this formula, and I've had this formula in my head for about 13, 14 years because I've been doing this for a long time on weight distribution. What do I think is a quarter ounce? What do I think is a half ounce? What do I think is a 3/4 ounce? And what is a 1 ounce? Okay. And I scale all my bats. I've had my scale for years. I have 2 of them, right? So it doesn't get messed up. And I scale all of my bats with that scale. I don't ask another guy what his scale is, right? Well, this is just, and I've created a formula with this for doing this for 14 years. So I've created this formula. So when I say this bat is a half ounce in load, and a lot of the guys that says they're half ounce in loads are right. Mike and half ounce in load, right? This is a half ounce in load, guys. It's not a 3/4 ounce. And Mike has been putting out half ounce in load, 1 ounce in load. You look at the big cat. So to get that ounce in there, big cat went lower on the hand weight. This is the new big cat. You've got an 8.5, 17.2. This is a good 1 ounce in load. I would say a little bit less than a 1 ounce in load, but this is a good 1 ounce in load, and this is a 27 ounce. The Johnny Bailey is a 27 ounce too. So I have this formula in my head. So when I make my decision and what I'm going to say, and the reason I did the video was because a lot of you guys out there that have swung heavy bats will actually listen to somebody and they'll read what it's being sold for, on the sporting goods store, and they'll buy it. But when they get it, they're not going to like it because it doesn't perform like a 3/4 ounce. This is just my opinion. So whenever I do a review and I put it in a balanced side, that's just my opinion. It doesn't mean shit to anybody else. Guys, on these bat manufacturers, they don't give a rat's ass about me. They really don't. So I just put out what and I say my all the time, but it's my guys' opinions too, because we all agree to it. Well, I'll talk to them at the end about it, and they do know about that. So, and you can watch the video. It's just not me saying this too. You can hear the comments. They're talking about that. So all of a sudden I'm getting tagged, right? I'm damage control. These people who have this bat are posting on every time I put that bat up that we do not stand behind this review. Well, I don't give a shit if you stand behind the review or not. I'm not doing this for y'all guys. And this guy got up there on every one of the reviews I did and every one of the little teaser videos I did, this is a 3/4 ounce and we do not stand behind this comment on this review. That's not what I started this for, man. I didn't start this to kiss your ass. I didn't start this to bend the knee for you guys. I give you guys my opinion on my formula. If you guys have known me for a long time, you guys know, man. You guys know that on my website, 11, 12 years ago, I said it's all about a formula, right? And a lot of the bat companies out there are getting it. And they're starting to go by this because we are changing this about this weight distribution, softer barrel, hard barrel. I had a guy call me today, not call me, but text me today that I wanted to talk about, and I'm going to get off that. And I don't care if you post. Here's the deal too. I'm not going to take it off. If you want to talk on my comment section, unless you're being a dick, I don't care what you say. And if you notice, I didn't take your comments off. I let you voice your opinion because it's that First Amendment, right? I don't care what you say. You can debate me on that. I'm not going to debate you. I'm not going to sit here. I'll prove it because I've already proved it on me, my side. I didn't want to say that. You guys are smarter to make your own decision on what you want. You want to believe me or you want to believe them. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not here, like I said, I'm not here to convince them. But I'm not going to take it off. Like I had somebody say, why don't you just take that shit off? I said, well, he's not ripping on me. He's not ripping on my guys. He's not throwing the F-bomb out there. He's not being mean, He's just, professionally, I think, talk about his opinion. And you can do that. I don't care. I'm not that guy that's going to take your shit off because you don't agree with what I say. It's what I'm talking about. I had somebody talk to me today, and I said, watch my video tonight. This is a guy, he hadn't played softball in 22 years, and I'm getting way too into this, but he hadn't played softball in 22 years. He bought 17 bats in 1 year. 17 bats in 1 year. He thought his bat speed was 80 miles an hour. He's 66 years old. I'm gonna probably butcher it because I can't see that without my readers, but he's 66 years old. He tested his bat speed, found out it was 65 miles an hour. And that's another thing too I want to talk to you guys about. A lot of guys out there think they have that 70, 80 mile an hour bat speed until they get it tested. Because I've talked to numerous seniors out there that actually will say, I've got an 80 mile an hour bat speed and I have tested theirs and it comes out to be 60, which is a big drop, right? So if you need to fit him with a bat, you would mainly go toward like this guy. Automatically, I'm thinking soft barrel bat. He wants a little bit of power, but another thing too, he says he works out. He's always worked out and he just seems like he wants to get his miles per hour up there. And I would go into detail talking to him too about this because he doesn't know what's going on. He thought he would have a more 66 miles per hour. He works out. He's gone through a lot of bats, which means, for one thing, I'm profiling him here, is he's 17 bats in a year. He's not married. And his kids are grown and moved away. So he's probably by himself because no way my wife would let me buy 17 bats in 1 year. No way in hell. So he's 66, yes. So he goes, there's something I'm doing wrong. Well, there probably is some things you're doing wrong. One is, the first thing if you talk to me on the phone, and his name is Patrick, first thing I would tell you is get your hormone levels checked because you're not going to get any stronger just hitting a lot of balls. You're going to get stronger in the weight room if your TRT is not to optimal level that they should be not for your age. That's another thing too, is a lot of you guys talk to me, well, my doc says I have great testosterone for a 60-year-old man. Well, I don't want testosterone of a 60-year-old man. I want testosterone of a 35-year-old man. So you need to bring your levels up to that, not to a 60-year-old man. So I talk to a lot of guys about this, is when you go to your doc, try to get him, and I'm going to tell you the numbers, try to get him a 750 to 850 testosterone. Right? That's at a 35. That's even younger than that, I think. It would be probably from a 30-year-old. That's the first thing I would do. What workouts are you doing? That would be a next thing. Because, guys, you can get in the gym. If it's not specific to softball, right? Swing. And I'm not talking about any other swing. I'm talking about a softball swing because they're going to be different than a baseball swing. So a softball swing, if you're not working out, if you're pumping your chest, and you're in there, doing the flies, it does nothing for softball. So I would actually send this guy a few workout routines that he can do for softball, but they are going to be on my membership page. And I know I keep bringing that up, but that's where all my stuff is going on that membership. All the workout routines for softball are going to be on that. But that's the first couple of things, Pat. First, a couple of things that I would do about that. And there's always ways and always things that you guys can do to get bigger, stronger, faster. We're not talking about the illegal ways. I'm talking about the ways to get your quality of life back. Supplementation. This is another thing too. I'll kind of talk about this right now. I don't just drink whey protein. I do the egg white protein. That's the only type. I'm not a big fan. And I talked to my son about this, because he started bringing all these, whey protein, milk protein. Milk has a lot of inflammatories in it, guys, and I try to stay away from this. And I know I talked about this last week, but creatine, this is 5% creatine, the creatine that I use that I think is really good. Guys, and I might have talked about this last week, and somebody's talking about they stopped creatine, and they put down in the comment section down below. Can you guys please do more research in your creatine and don't listen to this is something that I got to stay, and I'm not a doctor, right? This is something that I got to watch what I say is, and I was going to say, don't listen to your doctor. I would say go get another opinion because this guy's creatine levels were high, creatinine levels were high, and the doc told him stop creatine. Well, there's so many things that could make that high. And I think if you watched last week's podcast, you probably know that already. And I really don't want to go through that again, talking about that, because just get a second opinion or do some research. Murray Williams sent me some research on this, and I will actually I'll try to look for a way to post that. It was very informational about creatine levels in your body. Not necessarily does it mean that you're going to have bad kidneys, or does it damage your kidneys? So that's the only thing that I wanted to talk to you guys about, that kind of going right into that. Wow. The way like I talked about my formula. And let me tell you what I do when I do this formula. And this is going to turn out, since Chino came on and I kind of wasted a lot, not wasted, but I talked about a lot of other stuff on here. There's science, physics, right, that I firmly believe in. And then there's bro science, okay? So you read on science, or you read on physics, right? And I have for years. And then the bro science is actually testing it, you know? Letting the guys that have that diminishing bat speed, not by testing it, by watching it, because they have a slow bat, and then giving them bats through the last 14 years that we've been doing this, giving them bats to swing and test in our theory. That's what I call bro science, right? Because in theory, you can read it up on a paper, you know, or somebody had wrote a paper on it. So you can, and I have, and you can read those. I've read them, not write the paper. You can read those. So that's science or that's physics, right? So you take that and you turn it into bro science. And it's a name that I got from years ago when I was on YouTube, and a lot of guys that ran their own channel would talk about bro science. And I thought, hey, that's pretty good, you know, because they would listen to whatever they would talk about, or what you're supposed to do. This is what you're supposed to do. So they would take it, they call it bro science or lifting, and they would do something a little bit different, or they would tweak it. Well, that's what I do, right? I would tweak it a little bit, you know, especially with lifting weights, to fit what I want to do with it, like hitting balls, you know, getting more of that pop on the bat, you know. So what I do is I test. My guys are actually guinea pigs. I'll say this right now. I've never told them this. And you guys, you've seen me do this, where I hand them different things, you know, okay, do this one, or pick that one up, you know, and I'll have them go back and forth, and I go, okay, that makes sense now. So that's bro science with me. And I know a lot of you guys have laughed when I said bro science, but yes. I'm jumping around because I'm not going to be able to finish. I want to talk about that here in a minute. So that's what I call bro science. That's what we do. That's what I do. I can actually say that I do that because my guys don't know about it, because I don't tell them about it. Flex, you know, and if a barrel, you know, handle flex, you know, the in weight, you can actually take weight. And I'm gonna talk about this when I talk about the Bailey, because the Bailey, and Johnny put a video, John Bailey put a video about this where his bat does flex. So my theory on the way to get that bat, not because you can't redo that bat. That bat's already out, right? So the Johnny Bailey's out. It's got too much flex in it. Well, he says it's got more flex in it. The thing about flex is I think flex fits a swing. So I got a 27 ounce Johnny Bailey, and I was hitting it. It's too much flex for me. And you can see me bitching and moaning about it in the video, because the way you can tell if a bat flexes too much for you guys, if you get them inside pitches and you really try to bear down and cut on it, try to get to it, it's just not fed in there, right? So when it's inside and you like torque up on it to hit it, you'll notice that you're topping them. They're kind of rolling over, or you're fisting them, right? And you don't understand why, and you just say you missed it. No, it's because you get a little bit too much flex in the handle, and I think I've explained this before. So what I want to do with the Bailey is go down an ounce, right? Because anytime you put more weight on the end, you get bigger flex on the hands. So I talk on the handle. So anytime you have mass right here, it kind of puts a lot of pressure to flex that handle. So what I did was, this is a 27. So what I did was I ordered today a 26. In theory, I'm thinking, right, that 17.1 will be a little lower. So if I can get that 17.1 lower, I'm not pushing that much mass on the next one. I'm just thinking it's probably going to be the way Mike loads their things, their bats, the way they load their bats. I'm thinking they're going to go down in a 5 ounce increment. So I'm thinking that's going to be a 16.5. So a half an ounce out of the end. And half an ounce is a lot, guys. So I won't get that flex out of that barrel that much, out of that handle that much off that bat. And that's going to reduce the flex. So I can't go to it, you know, and I'm used to swinging that. And I actually think those numbers are a little bit too high for me anyway. But I can't swing a 27, Johnny Bailey. I'm going to go to a 26, and I'll bet you I don't get that much flex out of those hands, because, guys, we've been doing this for a long time. And usually what happens, and I know it, you know, that's how come I'm saying, and I've said this years ago, is, you know, a 26 performs different than the 27. 27 than 28. They all perform different from each other because if you're loading too much mass on the end, you're loading less handle weight. It's different flex points. You get more flex out of a 27 than you do a 26. Basically, what's going to happen here? I already know it's going to happen. I'm going to get the bat in. It's going to perform great, and it's going to perform better. And I actually do think this bat performs really good. I really do love it. But it just the hand flexes too much for me. But here's the deal: you younger guys, older guys that have that slow bat speed, and you can't torque it like that. You're not going to get that flex because you're not generating enough bat speed with that mass to flex those hands. So you're going to love it. But on the guys that have that 70, 80 mile an hour bat speed, you might want to go down in weight. See, that's how. And I know you guys are going, oh shit! And it really yes, it's gotten to this. And it's been growing to get to this. You just can't pick out a bat, okay, I want that 26. And then you find out the 27 performs better than the 26. And guys, on my videos, I tell you, this 27 is loaded different than the 26. And I'll tell you the 27 I'll tell you that. I've heard of videos, the 27 performs better because of the weight distribution on the way they did it. The way you're supposed to do it, half ounce increments, going up from the bottom, from your 24s to your 25s to the 26s, you put half an ounce in the end. That's the way you're supposed to do it. Majority of companies out there do not do it. I will say this, the kids companies coming up do it. And I wanted to talk about that, the Johnny Berry, but so what I'm gonna do is go down. I actually ordered it today at 26, and hopefully that bat will not flex that much in those hands. A lot of you guys buy this bat, you swing at 27, you give up on it, because you don't like the flex. You buy a 27. But if you don't understand that if you just go down a little bit, you're not going to get that flex because it's not going to be pushing that big mass in you. I want to talk about bats before I get off. I didn't talk about it a lot tonight, but I will talk about bats before I get off. Bats we are still working on, and bats that I have finished. Let me talk about the bats that I have finished first, and I'll talk about him a little bit here. This is the Mike deal. I'm not going to tell you what I think about this bat. You have to listen. It'll be out Monday morning. And if I told you right now what I thought about it, it would kind of ruin it for everybody. So this bat is not like last year's bat. This bat is different. Everything about this bat I think is different. It doesn't have. Do this to an old Mike. Don't get that, right? You get that clunking sound. His numbers on a 27 ounce is 16 ounce end load. And that is a 10-4. Guys, this is a balanced bat. And I'm going to try to, I don't want to be a dick here, but I'm going to say, this is a balanced bat. Miken loads their bats pretty good. Balance end load, half ounce end load, 1 ounce end load for the Mike Masenko. 10-4. This is a balanced. Same numbers as the Suncoast. 27.5, 10-4. Your hand weight makes you balanced bats, guys. A lot of the old companies are not adding in hand weight and taking out hand weight, and they're just leaving it in there and thinking, the more hand weight you put in a bat, the less stress it puts on a barrel. But see, I can't even talk about this bat. But if you have a soft barrel, like this one, gamer, like this one, that's a good thing. These bats aren't made, I think, it doesn't even have a seam on it, but it's got over 500 cuts on it. Just watch the video Monday morning, and I'll show you guys where I'm going to put it on my balance side. It's a good bat. A lot of you guys will enjoy swinging that bat. The next one that we finished up is on this one right here. This is a two-piece balance bat. Nick Price, 16.2, 9.3 on the hands. They're calling that I would actually, because of this number is so low, the 16.2, 9.3, it's going to swing like a balance. It's a 13-inch, kind of swing like a balance. But if you put it up against the Mike deal, you notice that he's got a lot more handle weight, 0.7 of an ounce more on his bat. Yeah, 0.7 of an ounce. Actually more than that, an ounce more on the hands. This will be out on Tuesday. California Bat Company, right here. We like this bat, guys. It's 16.9, 8.7 on the hands. I like those numbers. This will be out next Friday after the Thursday hitting. This is actually in order. And guys, the way I do my reviews too is nobody gets to cut in line. It actually gets to go in order the way they're delivered to me. This is an icebreaker, softer barrel than what I would get out of California Bat Company, but really good performance on this bat right here. And we'll let you guys know next week about those two, the professional. This one right here, I think this one, my numbers actually got off on it, 16.9, and it's got a 8.8 on the hands. I think this one's got a little bit, really good end load. And guys, it looks kind of heavy through here, but it's really not. Bat performs really good. You know, we've had a couple of duds that I'm actually going to talk about next week and talk about them. I want to do these. I'll do these last. Okay. You got a little bit of information on this, and he actually asked me input on this bat. Now, he when he talked about flexing the hands, he is right, but I think I can fix that by going to a 26 and get performance on it. And I'm going to let a lot of the older seniors swing this bat because I have a couple of old guys coming in, older guys, no disrespect. Older guys, 77-year-old guys, 70-year-old guys who are coming in next week and they're going to swing this bat. It's a good bat, great barrel. But I watched this video and he says they took weight out of the hands. They did not on this 27 ounce. I need to get to 26 ounce and I'll let you know, 26 ounce, and I will let you know. 9.8 on the hands, right? 17.1. Now that's the biggest end load that they have. So basically what they did between the old Johnny Bailey is they both went up in weight on both the hands and the end, because it never was a 17 ounce end load on the Johnny Bailey. I don't remember there being a 17 ounce end load on a Johnny Bailey. It's usually 16.5 to 16.7. I'm kind of messed up when I remember that shit. And even the Johnny Bailey hand weights were in the 9.5, 9.4, roughly around on the 27 ounce. Go to 26, it's a little lower. 9.2, I think, is what they were. But they kind of went down further on the end weight on the 26 ounce. I'm hoping they don't go down too far, but these are loaded different too, guys. Remember, I think they came from a different spot, not the same old spot. We got a different barrel. We got a different connection, which I think is awesome. I think the connection is awesome. Helps with the performance. But from what I know right now, I have to wait till I get the other bats in. This is the Axe bat. Guys, we're still hitting it, right? A lot of guys are still trying to get used to that Axe handle and getting to flex. It is flexing a little bit. I will say this, that's a 16.6, 9.7 on the hands. I kind of wish the hand weight would be in the low 9s, higher 8s, so that barrel would respond a little bit better for you. Because like I said, you get lower on the hands, the barrel responds better for you. On that one, we're still hitting it. I'm not going either way on that. I'm not telling you it's a turd. I'm not telling you anything. We just haven't made a decision on where that bat is going to go. The Mike Masinko. I will say this. This bat is loaded as a 1 ounce end load. This is a 20. I think this is a 26 ounce bat. It sure is. This is a 26 ounce bat, 17.2 and 8.5 on the hands. I like the way Mike loaded this bat in his weight distribution. I will say this, barrel gets soft fast. And the reason this bat will break in faster, now listen to what I'm gonna say, when you have a big mass on the end, it tends to make a barrel break in faster. So when you have a gamer series, right, this bat will break in faster than the Johnny Bailey because it has more mass on the end and less handle weight. The Johnny Bailey end load is probably about the same, but Johnny Bailey has more, like an ounce more in the hands, more than an ounce and a half in the hands, more. So when you get that sledge effect, more pressure on the barrel to collapse, right? So you're going to get this bat to break in. That's one thing you guys don't understand is that's why balanced bats take so long to break in, because you have no mass on the end to collapse that barrel to break that barrel in. So I kind of wanted to talk about this, but it's going to have to be on the next podcast. I'm going to talk about rolling. I've been asking questions for years about, and nobody, and I'm going to tell you next Friday what is my opinion on rolling, and stay tuned to that, because they were supposed to be number 3 on the line tonight, and it's a long conversation that I want to talk about. And again, the bro science that I think about, and I've actually tested this, and you guys can see it on my, YouTube channel. But get off of that. But I'll talk about that next Friday. I don't have enough time right now. Good bat. It's making a different sound than a Bailey. Now, it has something to do, I guess, with the way the barrel. One's a 12-inch, the other's a 13.5, 14-inch. So I think that is not a crack, guys. That is actually it's a mark in it. Somebody threw it and got it on the ground. That's a mark. It's actually just on the outside. It didn't click. So we're going to hit this bat some more. It does. The one thing about Micans, and I'm going to tell you guys this, the one thing about Micans and what they have done, we haven't finished that review. I'm not going to talk too much about it. But one thing that Mican has done is a lot of bats that we have swung on, but on this gamer series with Mican is they would implode, right? They would start imploding. And once they started imploding, they only had a few swings left. And I'm thinking 10 swings left once they started to implode on us, if we kept swinging them. One thing about the new Micans, not necessarily too much the deal, because they don't have that mass on the end to implode that barrel, is it's not imploding. It's actually staying. The performance, like you can hear me in one of behind the scene videos going, oh, wow, that sounded like that barrel imploded. But it went about 380. Now, if it was imploding, he would not get that performance on that 380-foot shot. So that's by listening. And I'm talking to somebody today, and I said, that's the first time I've ever had where it sounds like the bat is imploding, but it's not. You guys remember Adidas came out with those bats. You hit them too long, and it actually had that imploding feel, right? And you could actually, the performance on the bat would actually get worse if your bat speed was above 75 miles an hour. But what we're getting on these bats, on those guys that have that bat speed above 75 miles an hour, is they're getting great performance on it, but it sounds like it's imploding. I don't know what they did. I'm just telling you what I have experienced. Let me talk about this bat. I think I got done with the Micans. This is a new one that was sent to us. I think you see a couple of videos of the California guys swinging this bat. This is a California bat company, guys. This is not like any bat that they have actually put out. You guys will listen to them say that this bat was actually put out there to mimic another bat. It does not. Okay, for one, the way they loaded it. That bat that it was supposed to mimic was an end-loaded bat. This is, let's look at these numbers, guys. This is a 27 ounce. This is a 16.7 on the end, and it's got 8.9 on the hands. That bat that they wanted to mimic was a 9.2 on the hands. So that threw that off. But I don't know how they're going to try to sell this, because those are more like quarter ounce end load. Maybe toward the balance a little bit, but quarter ounce end load. But we got great performance on this barrel by the get-go. Like right when we picked up, and it made that sound like that big crack, and got great performance on this bat whenever we first started swinging it. This surprised me. This bat surprised me, right? Because when I saw the videos on it, and I heard that sound, I go, oh, I don't know what's going on here, but I want to swing this bat. So we got it in, and right off the get-go, the guys would turn around and look at me like, what the hell? Getting through the infield, and then it started getting, once it broke in, I'm going to say got there, like right in, you can pick it up and take it out there, start swinging it. You're going to get that little through the infield hard, not too much distance, because that barrel's got to flex more, right? But once we started getting that barrel to flex more, about 75, 80 swings, we started getting that distance, that staying in the air. That's what you really got to look for. Like when you have that half ounce, that 3/4 ounce, that 1 ounce end load, you're going to get that where that ball shakes a little bit and it gets that gear and actually starts to take off. That's what we really look for when we gauge a bat, amongst a lot of other things, probably 10 different things that we look at when we try to gauge a bat. But everything looks good on this bat. I'm getting carried away talking about things that I really like to swing, and I like swinging that bat. I just wish it was, handle weight was a little lower. I think they would get tremendous performance on it. I only have 2 more left. Okay. Proton. 1 piece and 2 piece. And I'm going to kind of showcase these right here a little bit. You have the 1 piece right here, which everybody fell in love with. And I'll tell you what happened here, guys. Then you have the two-piece, which on day one, nobody fell in love with. They picked it up and swung it, right? They picked it up and swung it, didn't like it. This one's got, this is not even my other one. This is the one piece, 26 ounce, 16.6 on the end, which is, yeah, I can do the 16.6 as long as the barrel's good. And then you got a 9 on the hands, okay? I would actually call that half ounce inlet. That's what I would call this, you know, because of the hand weights of 9 and 16.6, mainly because of the end weight too. We picked up this bat, everybody fell in love with it. What got everybody's attention is, with this bat, is Wayne Schroeder has played with me for softball for 40 years, since I started playing. Well, he gets to come out every once in a while, and this guy has been beat up. He's got hip replacement surgery, almost lost his right leg in a motorcycle accident. Got it put all back together, went through therapy, then he had to have hip replacement surgery. So he just comes out about 2 weeks ago and grabs it, and he hit a line on that field that I talked about. He hit a line drive, hit the bottom of the fence. And the second time he swung with us in 2 years. And we're looking at the bat going, oh. So what happens to my guys is what they usually do. They run to that bat and they pick it up. And you can see the video on behind the scenes. They start swinging it and they love it. This one right here. We're going to put more swings on it before I tell you what I really think about it. So what we did with that bat, with this bat, the guys grabbed it, swung it about 20 times, threw it to the ground. Nobody swung it. At the end of the day, I told those guys, you got to swing that bat too. We don't really care for the bat. You know, we don't think it's flexing good for us. And I'm like, well, just keep swinging it, right? Because maybe it has to be broke in. You'll hear me down behind the scenes. Maybe it just needs more swings. Got to crack the whip around on guys, man. So I get it out there, right? This is the two-piece. There's 16.9 on the end, 9.7 on the hands. Now that's a little bit big hand weight for me. I kind of wish it would be lower, but anyway, and that's probably the main reason why they didn't pick it up, because a lot of my guys don't like that hand weight. But they hit it about another 20 times, and again, they just threw it. It's the end of the day. They just threw it. So we hit again on Tuesday, and right away they jumped to this bat. They started swinging it. Video will be out on this bat next week too. You can see it. Charles Darling. These are good bats, man. I know I gave you shit last couple of years. You know, you had trouble last year, but you actually got something here. You know, I'm not going to say where, but you actually got something going here. This bat right here, two-piece. So what we did on Tuesday, I made my guys. I took away all this next bat. I took those away. I took away the Micans. I took away these bats because my guys want to swing those because they get distance on it. They like that, right? I said, here, swing this one. I threw it out there. Within 20 swings, I think we put about 150 on it. It opened up. So and the guys were going like, oh, hell. You know, why didn't we? No, you know, you just should have just kept, what my guys wanted was something that just broke in. All they have to do is get out there and showcase and hit those 350-foot, 400-foot bombs. That's what my guys want to do. But they don't, like I keep telling them it. And one thing you're going to see me doing too is I'm not going to get out there and swing the new bats anymore. I'm going to start swinging the broken bats too, because my back is just fried. It's better now, but it's just, I don't want to get, because one thing happens when you want to swing a big end load, it torques my back up where I'm lame for about 4 or 5 days. But it's better. It's good now. So anyway, they fell in love with it. And they were getting, you'll see the video next week. They were getting tremendous performance on this two-piece, you know. And I text Charles and I was like, dude, your two-piece just opened up today. And he goes, well, I didn't want to tell you anything, but I was going to tell you, wait till 150 swings, see what that thing can do and see how it opens up. Now, I think they ran out of these, and this is my last one. So I think they ran out of these, right? They don't have them anymore. Not till August. Only a few people of these have these. So a few people out there have these, and it's usually the stores that they actually got them in that actually have these. I don't know if any reps have them. Okay, we went up in weight. I like the way we went from a 26 to a 27 and a 25 25.5 to 26.5, and the weight distribution is great. The weight distribution is actually the same, the weight distribution as the old 2.0s and the old OGs, right? So you have a 16.9 on the end on the Dudleys, and you got a 9.2. One thing I will tell you, let's get this shit straight, right? They're not like the 2.0s. They're not like the OGs. So quit saying that, you guys out there. They are very good bats. Very. The best shit Dudley has put out, like I said, you've heard me say this before, since the 2.0, right here. It's got that little grip on it. The one thing that I want to let you guys know that they did wrong was whenever they marketed the bat, this is supposed to be a 1 ounce in low, which it is not by my formula, because then again, their formula might be different than my formula, but this is got 16.9 on the end, and then it's got a 9.2 on the hands. You maybe get away with saying it's a half ounce, in between a half ounce and a 0.75. That's it. But a 7.5 and older, no. Over, you're not. No, this is not that. I'm not saying anything bad about the bat. I'm just saying the way it's weighted, the way the balance points are. It's not more toward the end. It's more like a half ounce, 3/4 ounce in low. Great bat. Makes a weird ass sound when you hit it, guys. Sound goes away within about 100 swings. I'm going to throw 100 out there because we're hitting it. So sound goes away within 100 swings, but it makes still to this day, like the barrel is hard, and you hear somebody, we were talking about this yesterday. When you hit it, it's like the barrel is hard and it's not going to go anywhere, but it just flies and it gets that extra gear. Stays in the air a long time, especially if you miss it and hit it straight up in the air. It's got that Magnus effect and stays in the air a long time. That's the Bobby knife on. This bat right here is supposed to be your half ounce in low, but it is not. By my formula, you got a 17 on the end. I think it's either 17 or 17.1, but it doesn't matter. But you got an 8.7 on the hands. Anytime you take the handle weight out, you're going to get a sledge effect. So it's going to swing like a 1 ounce in load, So you can call this a 1 ounce in load. And I don't know if they just manufactured them wrong or marked them wrong, but it's actually the opposite. So if you guys are looking for the knife on to have a big weight on the end, it doesn't. Guys, that's it. That's it, right? Both bats, even the 20 lighter bats, even the lighter bats performed really good. The barrel does not get soft, right? And we've got, on these, remember when I told you guys I wanted to give them another chance because the first one's cracked within 350, 400 swings? Well, these right here have been over 500 swings on them. And I'm talking about quality swings because the guys are getting tremendous performance on it and they want to see how far they can hit them. So they're out there hitting, and you can watch the video, guys. Center field, they're reaching those trees at 400 feet, and the bat is very good. And that's where I'm going to go. I'll put out another teaser video next week. And what I want to do with these, basically, before I do anything, I want to try to crack them next week. Tuesday and Thursday. I know Chino's probably watching this too, and Clem, because I tagged them. But they're probably watching this, and this is what I want to do. And I know those guys are going to cry because they love the bat, and they usually get the leftovers, right? And then when I say, okay, we're going to crack them, they're like, oh, man, so I don't get to keep the bats. And they get mad because, I don't turn around and buy the bats again, right? I don't, unless somebody wants one, then I'll turn around and buy one. But I won't buy everybody one. But when I tell them next week, guys, we got to crack them. We're going to see how many swings we can get on them, and then pass that on to you guys that are out there that are watching all these videos. But that's it, guys. I've got a lot of stuff I want to get to next week that I didn't get to this week. I want to talk to, I'm not even going to go into that. That'll be too much. But next week I'll talk about a lot of the stuff that I did not get to today, and there's like 10 different topics. Guys, that's it. I know Leroy's coming up, and I'm running way too long. And guys, you say, don't be a dick to anybody. Don't be a dick to people out there. Here's another thing I don't want you guys to do too is, I really do believe in the First Amendment. And anybody that replies to anything that I put out there, don't be a dick to them. Just listen to what they have to say, because everybody needs to have an opinion. That's how come I like whenever a lot of these guys out there have all these, and I want more. I want more back reviews. I want more. Ed, I forget his last name, is doing he's going around talking to people about how to better themselves. And I think as seniors, we need this. We need and it's going that direction where I need more people doing back reviews, and I would share everything that you do out there because I need more opinions on things. I just don't want to be that one guy out there that's because I do have a system, right? I do have a formula. I have a lot of formulas, right? And I do have things that are coming up that is going to benefit a lot of seniors out there. And it's different than what you find because of the direction that I'm taking this. It's different than what you might think, high-tech stuff that will actually blow a lot of you guys away. And this things that I've never told anybody about, but I'm working on Brian Banks. That's just one of them. And I said his name because he's going to know what I'm talking about. That I would actually think I think that would help a lot of seniors out there to pick, not even seniors, I'm talking about the kids too, because this would benefit them, how to better pick out a bat for your bat swing. Fast bat swing, slow bat swing, torque, all that other kind of shit. Your weight, I think about that too. Weight transfer, strong, how strong you are, and all that other crap. But guys, stay safe, don't be a dick. Thanks, guys.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. I got a couple more here that I want you to take a look at. And if you haven't already, hit that like and subscribe button right down here below. And I also have a membership channel. It's that little join button that you have right down here. Click on it, and it actually has a small video in there that explains everything in the membership. Plus, it actually helps support what we do. Thanks, guys.